Nick Cage gets the chomp. Guy Ritchie says pain don't hurt. And the founder of the Spaghetti Western database drops some knowledge on the class.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call!
Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
Late for jokes.
You're mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And today we have a fantastic show today. Welcome to everyone on YouTube Live and otherwise, and of course, all the OG audio-only classmates in podcast land. Yes, we're here. Episode 1 of Car Chase May.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yes,
very
it's
excited.
May. It's May now, and it's Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Yep, Mondays.
Oh, it is?
Cinco de Mayo is Monday, right?
Yeah, it's the 5th.
That's when you, yeah, okay. It's Monday the 5th is what I'm saying.
Monday the 5th.
Day's the 3rd. Okay, so Monday, Cinco de Monday.
Yeah.
You know, it's about when they,
It's Cinco de Dos today.
Cinco de Tres.
Trace. That's right.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Chris.
But yeah, welcome back. What's up, fellas?
It's glad to be here in the studio. And
Yep. Tyler, you look aware, present. Your hair looks washed, very well kept, very coiffed.
yeah, I felt
fluffier.
I felt like it was time to take a shower.
It's time. It's
time to take a shower.
There's a new president in office now. It's about time to take a shower.
Yeah.
100 days of Trump, 100 days.
One hair wash.
Yeah, I mean, like it's springtime. It's the season of Taurus.
Taurus?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Taurus.
Taurus?
Taurus.
Like the star sign?
Yes.
Don't bring that shit up on this show.
All right, fine. Then I won't. However, I
like last episode when you're like, ow.
yeah, that was fun. I mean, the weather's been great. It's getting warmer now. It's supposed to be 89 next week.
Yeah, AC's been on at the house, much to my chagrin.
Yeah.
It gets above like 75 degrees, and Brianna is like, God, it's so hot.
I don't keep the AC on at my house. I like it hot and sweaty.
I prefer it nice and warm.
Yeah.
How about you, Joseph? What's your ideal icy temperature in the house?
In the house?
Mhm.
None.
I mean, it depends on the weather outside.
Well, to be fair, though, Joseph, you live in a place where there's a bunch of trees shadowing your house. So you have a bunch of shade.
Ooh. So we got some friends in the chat. Trip is in the chat. Uncle Trip, what's up, buddy?
Oh.
And Angry Otter in the chat. And Trip says his favorite AC temperature, 68 preferred temperature.
just one away from being perfect.
That is, that's almost nice.
Yeah, almost
That's
nice, almost
that's a
nice.
really cold temperature. And I have friends that go like 67, 66. I'm just made of money.
Yeah.
Made of money. I see it at 72 in my house, and I'm like, okay, it's a little. I could see the dollars going into the energy bill.
I mean,
Yeah.
68 degrees feels different when it's
And we have
like
angry
50 degrees
we have-
outside.
Oh, yes.
Versus
Well,
85
angry-
degrees outside.
Well, Angry Otter's in the chat as well. And so is Angie. It has been a long time. Ow.
That wasn't for you. So anyways, we're week 1 of Car Chase May.
Well, it doesn't have. Well, you specifically said it doesn't have to be car chase.
I want it to be. I actually did say that.
No, you said it could be any chase.
I would.
No, we specified last week. It
Yeah.
was-
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad if it was a non-car chase scene, but I would be a little perturbed.
Okay.
I would be.
The motorcycles count.
I don't know.
Oh, please tell me the motorcycles count
Kinda
because I was looking at
Hey!
motorcycle chases.
Sebastian from the Spaghetti Western database is in the chat.
Oh yeah.
He says nothing wrong with a good car chase. And Angry
There
Otter
is nothing wrong.
Angry Otter says thermostat set 72 always, hot or cold.
Okay. Well, yeah, you guys are all getting it wrong.
So speaking of Sebastian, I have later on in the show I have a video pre-recorded earlier today because Sebastian is in Berlin. He's one of our German listeners, and
He's the ones who are loving this right now.
yeah, that's right. For those who are newer to the show, like first 2 years of the show, for some
We're
reason,
getting a lot of German.
we had
listeners.
like 80% of our downloads for Germany, and we had no idea why. And
They were listening in their living rooms.
yeah, they were listening to him on like Echo Dots.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, that's right. It was
and we had no presents. We didn't know what the hell we were doing back then, and it was just like I don't know what the purpose was. Like we definitely don't appeal to really any audience, but definitely not a German audience.
They're huge in Germany.
Yeah, and then for some reason it just completely fell off a couple years ago.
I mean, we considered about making a trip to Germany and doing a live show in front of our German fans.
For Oktoberfest, go for the beers and the brats.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So me and Sebastian talked this morning and got up, 8 a.m. It's like 5 p.m. 6 his time, something like that, and talked about his website, the Spaghetti Western database. It's like IMDb. It's like the Wikipedia for spaghetti westerns, and we had a great talk, and we're going to play that a little bit later. But first.
Find some character in you, lad. Now's the time for Gab and Chatter.
Gab and Chatter, movie news of the week. Tyler, lead us off.
All right, so Nicolas Cage starred in a new movie that's in theaters currently, The Surfer. And I just want to give a shout out to our dear friend Bruce Perky, who did a review on this movie.
Yeah.
And it was a great video. Definitely check that out.
Bruce Perky of Cinematics, friend of the show.
So Nicolas Cage says from Entertainment Weekly, and Nicolas Cage says sharks and riptides got in the way of surf lessons for the surfer. And he goes on to quoting to say, "I could have died."
Could have died.
And
sounds dramatic.
He said, "Every time I've attempted surfing, I've been pounded to smithereens," the actor tells EW.
And then he went in the water.
Nicolas Cage has pulled off some wild stunts throughout his storied career, but learning to stand up on a surfboard for his new movie proved more difficult than stealing the Declaration of Independence.
He didn't really do that, though.
One, I want to give credit to the journalist who wrote this article, because that was a great line. That was a great line. Jesus. In The Surfer, now in theaters, Cage plays an unnamed businessman who returns to his Australian hometown in hopes of fulfilling his dream of buying back the beach house he grew up in. Without spoiling too much, suffice it to say that despite the film's title and his character's obsession with the pastime, Cage does not match surfing on screen. While that's mostly due to the script, which sees the actor descend into near madness as a group of local bullies prevents him from getting in the water, kind of like Point Break,
Or Forgetting Sarah Marshall, same thing.
Well, in Point Break specifically, like where Keanu Reeves is like trying to get surf lessons, it's like, you're not a surfer, you don't belong here. Like,
Yeah.
I never understood that, because it's like, I'm trying to give you business, I'm trying to give you money, you're not gonna let me like learn how to surf. Like,
No, there's a gatekeeping aspect to surfing, especially like your local beach, because you don't want your beach overran by knobs, bunch of bums coming in from other countries stealing your local beach.
But you're making money though, like it's a business at the end of the day. Like,
Capitalist Tyler.
Okay, okay.
But you're gonna get money. You should sacrifice all of your morals for money.
It's a moral to gatekeep surfers from a beach.
Yeah, it's a long tradition.
All right. Well, that's
My father and his father before him.
That much is true. While that's mostly due to the script, which sees the actors descend into near madness as a group of local bullies prevent him from getting into the water. Don't live here. Don't surf here.
Well, he's from there though, right? He said it's his hometown.
Yeah, he grew up in the beach house that he's trying to buy. So, I mean, I've never seen the movie before. So, I mean, this is just
yeah.
The Surfer?
Yeah.
I've heard good things.
Yeah. So
I think that quote is just honestly a really
well. This is what Nicolas Cage has to say. Lorcan and I talked at length. Lorcan being the person who directed the movie. Lorcan and I talked at length about it. He knows that I wish I could have gotten to that point. And while the actor loves the way the movie ends and wouldn't change a frame, he admits he dreamed of recreating a surf scene from 1979's Big Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm assuming that it's probably... I've never heard of Big Wednesday, but I'm assuming that Big Wednesday is...
Big Wednesday.
Did you look it up for the show? Because it's in your article.
No.
Big Wednesday.
I did not. I'm making the assumption that it's probably
It's a
like
movie.
this bombastic sort of like surfing scene.
Okay.
And that Nicolas Cage, being the bombastic person that he was, wanted to recreate that scene, and they couldn't.
From Big
do it.
Wednesday.
I used to kind of use Nicolas Cage as I'll see anything he's in. Man, I've seen some stinkers from in the past with him.
Yeah, I mean, the man likes to work.
Prisoners of the Ghostland. Wow, woof, really
I've
bad.
never
What was
even
it?
heard of
Wally's Wonderland?
Wally's Wonderland.
Wally's
Terrible.
Wonderland.
Terrible.
Yeah.
So there was potential. Terrible. He was the best part in it, and he's
And
fine.
had no lines.
And he's fine.
He
Yeah,
doesn't talk at all.
he brought the average rating up by not talking in that movie.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole article, but basically the idea is that Nicolas Cage, while he was preparing for this movie and like filming the movie, that he just the location and where he was at, he just kept getting blown apart by the waves.
Yeah.
And like they were just,
To me, it sounds like a cop out. He's like, "Oh, I would have learned how to surf, but there were sharks."
that is a really good impression of
It
Nicolas
really
Cage.
was not an impression. I was just
Oh, that's just how you sound.
Is he in the room with us?
like, I feel like he just goes, "Yeah, there's sharks out there, and the waves were crazy, so I could have surfed in the movie, but I didn't."
The man said he was blown to smithereens.
Pounded.
Or pounded to smithereens.
from the rear and to smithereens.
Yeah. So
How else do you pound but to smithereens?
Is anything else to smithereens?
You're blown.
You're blown to
smithereens.
smithereens.
You're
Yeah.
blown to smithereens. You're pounded to
I
smithereens.
want to get blown to smithereens.
Fuck yeah, dude. Anything else, Tyler?
To smithereens sounds like the worst way to get blown.
Well, I think to your point, Pete. Yeah, I think he might have been a little bit more like trying to make it.
Yeah, you wanted to puff his ego up. You don't
to
want to
make
admit.
it. Yeah.
You don't want to admit that he can't surf.
Yeah, I mean, like
So he
the
didn't do his
man is
own
like the man
surfing
is
stunts.
like pushing 60 right now.
Yeah,
so,
there's no one's gonna blame him for not surfing.
Yeah.
He's an old man. He's a movie star.
I mean, and also in the article, he was talking about how he used to surf, and then he didn't, and then for this movie he started back up again. So I'm thinking like, yeah, he probably doesn't want to hurt his ego. So I don't know, like,
well, to do that, surfing specifically, because surfing you have like you're at the
have you guys ever surfed before?
no. You're at the like
I'd like to.
the ocean's mercy.
Yeah.
Right. There's so much
Ocean's Mercy.
like you're not in control.
No.
Like
You could be, and I know you could go out there for hours, just be sitting waiting for waves, and nothing good comes.
yeah.
And then a tiger shark comes
And then to
chomps your
to
leg.
film to like to be making a movie where you have to do multiple takes. There's no way like Nick Cage would be up for doing that.
No, all day,
Yeah.
all
I
day.
don't know, maybe.
No,
You don't think so? You don't
no.
think
He's
Nick Cage?
he's old. He's an old dude that's not in shape. Have you looked at him?
If he had
Looks like a bag of flour.
If he had continued surfing when he was surfing, if he like was still surfing as a hobby to this day, then maybe.
If McConaughey wanted to make a surfing movie, I could see him being out. He's fit.
Yeah.
He's a good, or Ray Fiennes,
Or
lately.
Tom Cruise.
Ray Fiennes is an
Tom
old man
Cruise,
who's
yeah.
now buff for some reason.
Well, that's because of the roids, but yeah.
Anything else?
It doesn't have to be anything.
Okay. Well, I do have one thing, and just really quick. Do you guys think the Batman 2 is getting canceled?
I'm not going to respond to that.
Canceled? Now with Robert Pattinson being a part of Dune now.
Okay, here's my answer. No.
Okay. Because I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid that we're not going to get the Batman 2. All right, fine. I'm done.
Thank you. Joseph?
Okay.
Wait, what does Chad have to say about the Batman 2?
Chad has nothing to say about Batman 2.
Because there's nothing to say about it.
But I will say, Trip. Oh, I still got the music playing. Hold on.
I already moved on.
I know. I understand that. It was a mistake.
I understand that.
Trip, Uncle Trip in the chat says he donated $20 to the show. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, wait, Little John in the chat now?
Yeah.
Little John.
He says, watch Nandor, Fodor, and the Talking Mongoose on Prime. I will watch it. I've seen it. It's not Nick Frost. What's the other guy's name? Simon Pegg. Pretty sure Simon Pegg's in it.
I was like, I'm wondering that title sounds familiar.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a Lemony Snicket. Sounds like a Lemony Snicket story.
Lemony Snicket.
Yeah. Anyways,
Let me stick it.
Chad also says, Big Wednesday is a 1978 American epic coming-of-age buddy sports comedy drama filmed, directed by John Milius. John Milius, big timer. Epic, they say. And Angry Otter says he was a good actor when he went, but then he went broke and began taking on any role for a paycheck. It's really sad. So
I don't know if it's that sad, but
it's sad.
Yeah, he went into debt or like he owed people money. Or
IRS.
but he still had millions of dollars regardless of how much debt he was in.
I don't think you understand how that works. When you become.
No, I do not.
If you, Joseph, what do you got for us?
Okay, so you guys remember the Roadhouse remake from last year?
Yeah, the Doug Liman one.
Gyllenhaal?
The Jake Gyllenhaal,
Amazon Prime.
Conor McGregor,
Yeah.
Doug Liman.
Yeah.
That was comically bad, but I still found it pretty fun.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Definitely silly for sure. They're making a sequel to that movie, also starring Jake Gyllenhaal, still starring Jake Gyllenhaal as Dalton, but this time not directed by Doug Liman. It is going to be directed by a Guy Ritchie.
Ooh.
of Snatch fame.
Cool.
And
could this be a better movie than the first?
Snatch.
One?
He's directed Snatch, the Sherlock movies. He has a movie coming out next month, I believe, on Apple.
Rock of Ages or two? Didn't he do Rock of Ages or whatever that one is? Tom Cruise.
I don't know.
Camp Rock.
That's a Disney movie.
That is. It took me a second to realize that.
Yeah, he's got a movie coming out next month called Fountain of Youth, starring John Krasinski, and he's also worked with Jake Gyllenhaal before in a movie called The Covenant, an Amazon MGM movie.
Covenant was recommended by somebody. I can't remember who it was. It was a good Western.
There's another movie called The Covenant, but from like the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
That's about like teen witches or something.
Yeah.
Are you sure that's not the Covenant? The Coven?
Is it?
The
Coven?
I think it's the
Coven.
Is it
no,
Coven?
I think it's the Covenant. I don't know.
Okay, anyways.
It's
Continue.
with that one, that goth looking.
Fruza Balk.
Yeah.
That's The Craft.
Oh, The Craft. That's what I was thinking.
But yeah, so he's that's gonna come out eventually with a sequel to this movie, which I don't know if anybody really wanted.
I wanted a sequel. I want Gyllenhaal kicking ass again.
I don't know.
He didn't say pain don't hurt.
I wonder if it's going to be a remake of the original Roadhouse sequel that came out in 2006.
Oh shit, maybe.
Called Roadhouse 2: Last Call, which I've never even heard of until today.
Yeah.
There's a hilarious mix-up with us.
Yeah.
We had to figure out which Roadhouse 2 we're talking about.
Yeah. There's no plot details, and not that matters, I don't think. But yeah,
I like Guy Ritchie in general. I haven't seen a whole lot of his newer stuff, but I really loved Snatch, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels.
I like that.
I'll forever owe him a debt for those movies.
Did you see the Sherlock movies?
I did not.
I've seen the first one. I think.
Yeah, I saw the first one too. I mean, like, he's competent. I mean,
the man who directed Snatch and Lock, Stock is competent.
I guess some are saying he's competent.
He can make a movie from beginning to end.
I'm just saying he can make a movie that isn't like the first remake of the Roadhouse movie. I mean, like you said, Pete, he didn't say pain don't hurt. Like that's the best line in the freaking movie.
Tyler, get on that mic.
It's the best line in the it's the best line in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like that whole sequence of events where Dalton is in the hospital getting stapled up.
It's pretty great, but also when he's talking about how he has a master's in philosophy.
Yeah, he went.
That's also pretty good.
He went to NYU. Like, I don't know why that's on his medical records because he doesn't say that. Well, he says his major, but she says, "So you went to NYU? What did you study? Philosophy." It's like, why does his education matter in getting staples from a stab wound that he got?
I feel like Roadhouse is the movie that you remember the most.
Yeah, he remembers every bit about it.
Yeah,
You can name all the moves that he does with Tai Chi.
I don't know what like
makes love in front of the blind kid.
Doug Liman. I think we talked about this when it came out last year, but it was supposed to be in theaters, and everyone was paid as if it was going to be in theaters, and then Amazon switched it, and then nobody got compensated.
You got to think like what it was probably the test audience.
Daddy Bezos fucked him.
Lyman didn't get a cent. Jake Gyllenhaal didn't get a cent, and the producer didn't get a cent from 50 million people watching Roadhouse.
Tyler has a cent, that's for sure.
I do. Yeah, it's very musky. Sorry.
Well, I'll watch it. I mean, I was gonna watch it regardless, but now that it's Guy Ritchie, I'm into it even more.
It might be. I mean, Guy Ritchie has kind of shifted his vibe quite a bit since Snatch and the Sherlock.
Well, I'll tell you this: if I like this one, I'll go back and watch Sherlock's.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
I will. I'm just telling you now.
I think Robert Downey Jr. He plays a really good like snarky asshole, and
That's fine.
And it was, I mean,
that's fine.
Yeah,
and I don't have any desire to see the Sherlock movies.
Well, I mean, there's no desire, but like, I mean, if you come across it, like, it's not going to be a waste of time.
Okay, well noted. Not waste of time.
Not a waste of time.
I didn't feel like I wasted my time.
Cool.
Yeah, they're not calling me either, those Sherlock movies.
Yeah.
I've seen parts of it, and I'm like, this is it's like the Guy Ritchie vibe, but like even more embellished.
Well, like the Gore Verbinski Lone Ranger movie, like no desire.
Ooh,
no desire.
That, I do not have a desire to see that one.
Is that the Johnny Depp?
Yeah, Johnny Depp and
Armie Hammer.
I don't know if it's Armie Hammer,
Is
Timothy
that Armie
Olyphant or something.
I think it's Armie Hammer. Armand Hammer.
What kind of person names their first child Armand when your last name is Hammer?
Because they own Armand Hammer.
Yeah, because they own Arm & Hammer.
I'm just saying, before the company existed, someone had to be named Armand Hammer.
Somebody?
Yeah, like Armand. I guarantee Armie Hammer is not Armie Hammer the first. He's probably Armie Hammer the
It
fourth.
comes from a long line of Armie Hammers.
I mean, I'm a third of the Abetas.
You are?
Yeah, I'm not a third technically because our middle name's different. My dad's name is Pedro, but Pete, Pedro.
There's a hip hop duo called Armand Hammer.
I bet you $10. It's Armand Hammer, the guy that founded Armie Hammer. Armand Hammer baking soda probably was also named Armand Hammer.
Armand Hammer was an American businessman and philanthropist, the son of a Russian Empire-born communist activist. Hammer trained as a physician before beginning his career in trade with the newly established Soviet Union.
So someone said, I'm going to name this guy Arm and Hammer.
Yeah. I mean...
Armand.
Armand Hammer. It could be Armand.
I mean, like, they created this empire of
bisodium phosphate.
Yeah,
Armie Hammer's great-grandfather eventually did come to own Arm & Hammer, but the brand is definitely 100% not named after him.
What?
Bullshit.
That's like finding out that German chocolate cake was named after a guy whose last name was German.
That's like your dentist being named Crentist.
Yeah. I saw that coming.
You got anything else?
I
got a kind of a long clip to play.
No, I don't.
All right. Roadhouse 2 coming. Guy Ritchie on the way.
Fine.
Yeah. Okay, so for my segment, no news story, but I got a hold of a gentleman named Sebastian who was in the chat earlier. I don't know if he's still in the chat. He is the founder, proprietor, owner, operator of the Spaghetti Western database, the SWDb.
Oh, yeah.
Very similar to IMDb or IMCDB, which is the Internet Movie Car Database, which I use often. And I reached out on Blue Sky and said, hey, I'm looking for people who know something about spaghetti westerns, because I don't. And we're getting ready to go into this spaghetti western April, the entire month we're talking about them, and I don't know shit. And somebody tagged him, and we started communicating. We couldn't get a hold of each other earlier in the month, so it's a little bit late. But I think it's perfectly appropriate. And we had a talk this morning, so I want to go ahead and play. Joseph, can you do the commentary clip?
Yep.
All right. Welcome to the show, Sebastian. Do you go by Seb or Sebastian or what?
Both is fine. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Yeah. Likewise. So, Spaghetti Western Database. That's your thing.
That's the site I started in 2004. If you want to call it the Wikipedia of the Spaghetti Western, that's fine, because that's sort of what it is. If you look at it from a technical perspective, but that's basically now the established online encyclopedia / community place on the Spaghetti Western. It didn't used to be the only one out there, but it's pretty much now the predominant online resource.
Yeah, 2004 was. I mean, we barely even had YouTube back then. Like that was early days internet, man. How did you kind of what made you want to start that back then when no one was doing IMDb or any of that stuff?
I'm young enough to be annoyed by the fact that if I have an encyclopedia, like a paper-based one,
Yeah.
I cannot search. It is a static product. It doesn't get updated and stuff like that. So when I got into spaghetti westerns, I was looking for a way to quickly look up these titles because they have all these alternative titles in different languages. So you're constantly asking yourself, is it this one they're talking about or that one? Was it, did it come out in this year or that year? And that turned out to be kind of tricky, especially for a newcomer like myself, getting into the genre early. So I was already playing around with websites back then. I started the Quentin Tarantino archive.
Oh, cool.
4 or 5 years before that. So I had some experience, but then at some point, I cannot remember exactly what led to the decision. But the first step was that we started a website which just poured everything in it. And then I gathered some friends, and the obvious connection was, well, if we're all editing this, isn't that just like the Wikipedia? And well, their software is free, so why don't we just use their software? So
okay, I see. Interesting, yeah. And was Quentin Tarantino kind of your gateway to spaghetti westerns?
It certainly didn't hurt. I think
having an affinity for him, at least,
Yeah, I think the Spaghetti Western database got started roughly around the Kill Bill times, and there's plenty of Spaghetti Western references in there. We can touch on those later. At the same time, being German, I grew up watching some Spaghetti Westerns on afternoon television, stuff like that. But it never really registered that much until I got into college, and that was around the time I started the website.
Nice. So that was a kind of a standard thing, being on TV, was spaghetti westerns.
Mostly the funny ones, I would say. Those were standard afternoon TV fare.
Okay.
The Bud Spencer, Terrence Hill movies, or even late night programs. Depending on how late my parents would let me stay up.
Yeah, sure.
There would be a screening of or a broadcast of Once Upon a Time in the West or whatever, and then you would tape it, of course.
Yeah, naturally. I see you got a pretty good physical media collection back there.
Yeah, it's not in any sort of order or presentable.
That's half of the fun, is trying to find what you're like, I'm pretty sure I own this.
It's overdue for a little dusting off.
Do you use Letterboxd, the app?
Oh yeah, religiously.
Yeah, me too.
I have to say I'm a Patreon a customer, and the SWDb has an account there too, so you can follow it.
Okay, I'll have to find you on both of them. So, a couple things I wanted to run through with you, because the concept of our show is like, we have me, Joseph, and Tyler. We don't claim to be movie experts or professionals or anything like that. We're in the class with the classmates. Like, we're not teaching the class, we're learning together. And we recently transitioned to this new format where we spend an entire month talking about one subgenre or one type of movie or one whatever. And Spaghetti Westerns was the first one. So we basically have 4 feature movies a month of this topic. And then throughout the rest of the month, to fill in the gaps, we're trying to squeeze in as many other movies as possible. So, really all we've had fully covered on the show was it was The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, The Great Silence, The Hudson River Massacre, and Once Upon a Time in the West. Have you seen The Hudson River Massacre?
I have not, and what an odd choice.
I know. It really, yeah. Tyler picked that. He's our wild card co-host, and he went on YouTube and found a free playlist of just 50 old spaghetti westerns, and he just said, "Ooh, I like that name. Got to be good." It was like a 4.1 on IMDb. I want to say it was also called the Canadian Wild, or the Canadian Wilderness, or 3 from Colorado. And that's the funny thing when we were getting into some of these things, is, like you said, they has sometimes 3 or 4 or 5 names, and depending on what service you're trying to rent it on or find it on, it's got a different name. That's so confusing. Why do they do that?
If you look back at the 60s and 70s, you have these movies produced in one country and oftentimes sold to all the other territories even before they started shooting. And they completely relinquish control over these in most cases. So that other territory they license it to, the distributor there, they might look at the title and either translate it directly or just pick a completely different title. Oftentimes, and you've seen this in US theaters too, the first run has title A, it didn't work so well, so they picked a raunchier title and they tried it again.
Yeah.
In the grindhouses, for example. And then maybe for VHS, they tried a different title, or maybe for the TV broadcast. So you have these different, I want to say, strategies for distribution and also strategies for just cashing in on things.
That makes sense.
You have movies that gain a later reputation, so they come back into theaters, but then they need a different title because they're cashing in on something else. And you see this a lot with German titles. They have Django in it. Every second title has Django in it.
Oh, really?
Because it was so successful. So even movies that for the first time they played, they had the original title or maybe an authentic title. Second time around, they had a Django in the title. These are phenomena that you see a lot in spaghetti westerns, and then of course in each language you have a title and maybe 2 or 3. So if you add it up, then each spaghetti western may have 20, 30 titles sometimes.
Jeez.
and that's tough because sometimes they're identical or similar or very similar, or even the distributors sometimes don't watch these movies. They just slap it on there and they get a VHS cover, and the artist that makes the VHS cover hasn't seen the movie, and so
yeah, it's the exploding helicopter mentality. Roger Corman famously pioneered that for his stuff. It's like, well, we're just going to put an exploding helicopter on the cover, and people are going to come see it. Doesn't have to be in the movie.
And the same goes for words too. I mean, people react to words, so it's spaghetti westerns have a lot of religiously themed titles, a god, and Ave Maria, and whatever. That might not necessarily translate well in other markets, so they get a different title with the gun or hired gun, or the avenging gun.
Well, I'll tell you, if you want to dip your toes into that water, it's one of the least viewed movies I've ever seen on Letterboxd that I've logged personally. Only 119 people have logged it. Hudson River Massacre.
Interesting.
On Letterboxd, yeah. So it's the story's okay, but it's pretty rough.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we've already kind of talked about how you came to the genre. When you're talking with other people, like say somebody finds out you're really into this, or you run this website or something, and undoubtedly you're getting the question, oh, I haven't seen a whole lot of, great spaghetti westerns. What should I watch? Besides the greats, the big ones that everybody talks about, what's like maybe 2 or 3 that our listeners can seek out that'll be interesting, but, they'll still keep them engaged and whatnot, but just not something they've ever heard of as talking in like the top 5, top 10. What do you think? I know your website's got some really good editors picks, too. So I encourage our listeners to go there.
We do the alternative top 20 and stuff. I mean, I think it depends a little bit on whether you like the gritty, violent, sinister stuff like I do, or if you like more the lighthearted, comedy-esque things.
How about one of each? Because I tried a comedy one time and it wasn't good. I didn't like it at all.
I don't like them. I can give you a few titles, and I think each one of them has its merits. So one is, if you like it really sinister, almost gothic horror type, A God Said to Cain is a really good one with Klaus Kinski.
God Said to Cain, okay.
That's a good one. Then I think that's almost a favorite is The Mercenary.
Okay.
With Franco Nero and Tony Musante. It's got an amazing soundtrack. It's got 3 showdowns in a row.
Cool.
It's about the revolution, and it's really
nice.
And if you've ever seen Kill Bill, you will obviously recognize the music.
Oh, great!
Because Quentin likes to take soundtracks from spaghetti westerns.
Mm-hmm.
Then, if you want to see the early days of Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill, who would go on and do comedy westerns and then comedy movies for the rest of their careers, God Forgives, I Don't is a really interesting one.
I've heard that title, but I don't know anything about it.
Or I Forgive, You Don't, or whatever.
I think it is God Forgives, I think.
Yeah, for the most part. And then if you like a really good revolutionary Western, that is really overlooked, I think, and not talked about it enough is To Paper. And it stars Orson Welles as a Spanish general or Mexican general. And
That's awesome.
that alone is something that not a lot of people are aware of.
Good.
And a real, I want to say a real nugget is a movie that has a super interesting title too. It's called, or one of the titles, we talked about the titles. So one of the titles it goes by is At the End of the Rainbow. And it's hard to track down in English. There's an English dub, but it's hard to track down.
Okay.
And that's a real interesting one too.
At the End of the Rainbow.
Yeah, and then another really interesting one, because you gotta keep people, you gotta hook people, is Blind Men, starring Ringo Starr of the Beatles.
Wow, really?
He plays a blind gunslinger looking for 50 women that got stolen from him or whatever. That the premise alone should people.
Yeah, the star in the premise, absolutely.
And maybe one last one. It's also a personal favorite of mine. Like many spaghetti westerns, it has a biblical theme. It's called The Forgotten Pistolero.
Okay.
Great soundtrack, directed by Ferdinando Baldi, who's one of the go-to directors. And that's also a really good one. If you like, I'm not sure if it's Cain and Abel, some biblical theme between brothers. Yeah.
Interesting.
So these are some, I think, that that should be worth watching. And then obviously the Leones and the Solimas and their Kabuchis, what have you.
Beautiful. I love it. So our listeners, you can find you at the Spaghetti Western Database. Any place on social media that we can connect with you, or places we should point our listeners to?
Yeah, you can find the SWDb on Blue Sky and Facebook. And I want to challenge anyone, if you can't find a spaghetti western on the SWDB through searching or browsing, fear not, get in touch. The search is not the best. You can join the forums. We have a reputation for helping people track down stuff that they saw as a kid, and they only remember this scene or that scene. There's always a bunch of guys who are like, oh, it could be this one, it could be that one, and a couple of weeks later, that was the one. Thanks for helping me out.
Oh, I love that.
We do that all the time. And if you need recommendations, you mentioned the top 20, the alternative top 20. We have Quentin Tarantino's top 20, Alex Cox's top 20, and a few more ways and avenues for advanced or beginners to get into the spaghetti western.
Beautiful. I love it, man. Again, thank you so much for joining us on the show, and I appreciate your
Thank you for
time.
having me.
Yeah, talk to you soon.
Great talking to you. Bye.
All right. So that was Sebastian from the Spaghetti Western Database. Dude's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's interesting because like after watching like the spaghetti westerns that we watched, yes, we watched the greats, and then we watched I mean, me personally, I watched a couple of bad ones. It's interesting that some people will latch on to like a certain genre of movie and just like have such a passion for it, as much so as starting a database.
Yeah. Sebastian's in the chat still. He says, thanks for having me. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
And thanks for being here. Stop by whenever you want. We're every Saturday. So whatever time it is at your place, it's probably 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah, I was going to say, Sebastian, go to bed, man. What are you doing up? Well, I guess it's Saturday
like
night.
The night's just started.
Yeah,
Must be like 9 or 10 hours ahead.
Yeah.
So 8 o'clock is 5 there. So yeah, so it's 9 o'clock when we started. 9:30 when we started streaming. Yeah.
Yeah, it's time for bed, Sebastian.
Trip loved it. Trip loves Sebastian.
Yeah, well,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's very articulate, and he's a go-getter.
Can you imagine, like, early days of the internet?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, like 2004, he said that he made that.
Like, I remember YouTube just like blossoming in those early days, and I mean, discussion forums were kind of a big thing from like 05 for me to 05 to like 2012 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the Mark Zuckerberg of spaghetti westerns.
Yeah. Drop the. It used to be the Spaghetti Western Database.
Yeah.
Now it's just Spaghetti Western Database.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we've gone a little bit long on the Gab and Chatter. How about we get into some streaming picks?
Sweet.
Movies.
Wanna watch a movie?
Yes, I do. Disney Plus. Oh, HBO Max. If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
You found the pick.
Streaming picks. Movies that we watched this week on our streaming services that you can watch on yours too. Tyler, lead us off.
All right, I am going to lead us off with 2003's Out of Time, starring Denzel Washington and Eva Mendes. This is a really fun movie. When I went into this movie, I did not expect it to be as fun.
What's it about? I don't even know anything about this.
So the movie is about a Florida police chief that must solve a vicious double homicide before he himself falls under suspicion. So basically, Denzel Washington's character is having an affair, not with Eva Mendes. Eva Mendes is his ex-wife.
Okay.
He's having an affair with this woman.
Isn't she his wife? And not his wife.
No, it's Ryan Gosling.
In Training Day. Isn't that?
Oh yeah,
that's the other woman.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so he's having an affair with this other person's wife. He's single. He's recently divorced.
Okay.
And so,
Hell yeah.
Why do you say hell yeah?
Hell yeah, living the dream.
Can I lick your blades, Joseph? Really quick. No.
Lick my blades.
All right.
Get to the point.
Anyways, this movie is really fun, and after I watched this movie, it made me think how I don't think I can think of a bad Denzel Washington movie.
Gladiator 2.
Yeah, Gladiator 2 is a good one.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Gladiator 2. God damn, that whip stings. Well, I mean, I didn't enjoy all of Gladiator 2, but I enjoyed some of it. So this movie is about, so he's having an affair with this woman, and she supposedly has like this debilitating cancer. And so
supposedly
that, yeah,
allegedly,
supposedly. And so he does this bust in the beginning of the movie and gets a bunch of drug money.
Bust.
And
Tyler, get to it.
I can't with the drops.
All we know so far is he's had an affair with Eva Mendes.
I feel
no, it's not with Eva Mendes.
I don't care.
I feel like that guy.
Tell us what the movie's about.
I feel like the guy Happy Gilmore who's like, you're gonna miss it, jackass.
Yeah, really.
Okay, so this girl that he's having the affair with apparently has cancer, and there's alternative like cures in Switzerland. So he steals the drug money that he took at the beginning of the movie from a bust that he did to pay for her to go to Switzerland. Like they were going to run off together to Switzerland. And then it turns out she double crosses him, and then he's trying to cover his tracks to make sure like that, you know, the police don't find, like the DA is on his ass because they need the drug money. It's just kind of like a sort of who got like a gotcha sort of movie.
Okay.
And it's really fun. And what I come from it, what I got out of it was that Denzel Washington, despite this movie being like mid, he just doesn't have a bad movie. I can't stop with the Gladiator 2. No, he's not bad in that.
His lowest rated movies are Virtuosity from 1995 and The Preacher's Wife from 1996. 5.5 and 5.7, respectively.
That's not even bad. That's still in the 5-point range.
That's pretty bad.
That's pretty low.
Yeah.
That's not pretty low. That's midway.
It's
so it's like
50%.
So it's like a C.
No, it's like an F.
That's not an F. Oh, well, yeah.
5 out of 10, that's an F.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, it's fine in terms of movie rating. It's fine.
It's like a C minus.
Well, Out of Time, that's streaming on Tubi. Really, really fun movie. I had a great time watching it.
But it's mid.
Well, of course it's mid. But
it's got
like
34% on IMDb. Or no, Just Watch. 5 points. Oh, this is a different Out of Time. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Out of Time 2021.
It's fine. It's a great movie.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's a great movie.
I highly recommend it. It's a fun movie. And then also,
you sure about that?
So in the vein of car chase, movie scenes, I didn't know if I should bring it up on the streaming picks or in the actual body of the show.
Do it now.
So this is for context. This is an interesting story. So I was wrestling on like what like car chase like movies that I wanted to watch outside of Ronin.
Okay.
And I just was having the hardest time thinking about it because like I didn't want to do Drive or like Fast and Furious or anything like super obvious. Like I wanted to do something that was
a hidden gem, off the beaten path, movie that most people haven't heard of before.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it that. But
a diamond in the rough.
But I thought so. My supervisor, I didn't have a route yesterday on the Friday that we were the day of after we're recording. I didn't have a route, so I was
get to it, Tyler.
Jesus,
get to it.
God damn!
All right, that bit's
yeah, you can't. You're
now.
faking the bit now. Get to it. Get to it.
Okay, so
your boss told you to watch a movie.
So me and my supervisor, we were talking about Rocky. And then he mistakenly thought that Terminator came out in the same year as Rocky. And
okay.
I was like, I didn't want to embarrass him or anything like that, so I didn't say anything. But
you idiot! You thought it came out the same year.
But it got me thinking though. I was like, oh my god, Terminator has a good chase scene. No, wait, Terminator 2 has one of the best chase scenes. So Terminator 2 is my second streaming pick that's streaming on Amazon Prime. And I would like to point out specifically in the arcade scene, the famous arcade scene where
his redheaded friend throws him off the scent.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have like the motorcycle scene going. It's so...
Well, why did you bring up the arcade scene?
Well, because that's
you wanted
like
to call attention to the arcade scene?
Well, I just like the arcade scene.
Okay, I got it. All right.
It's an iconic scene. I mean, just Terminator 2. This is just like a testament to James Cameron's like way of making movies. Is that he has no lulls in his movies. I mean, I think Avatar probably has a bunch of lulls in the movie, but like when it comes to like Terminator 2, Aliens. I almost said Alien 2. I almost said Alien 2. Aliens.
Okay, all right.
He's such an incredible filmmaker, and like the way that the whole like chasing in the the canals of LA is just it's
Pretty
so
sure it's the LA River, I think. No, that's not the LA River. That's just a waterway.
Yeah, like canals that were runoff or whatever. Yeah. It's so fun. And so for our car chase month, yeah, definitely Terminator 2. Check that out for a great car scene.
So it's a motorcycle and a semi-truck chase scene.
Mm-hmm.
Were you just trying to think of a movie with a car chase scene without looking it up?
Well, throughout the whole week I was. I
couldn't
just
think of a single one until my boss made this fucking faux pas.
Well, because I kept thinking of Drive. Like that was my whole like mindset was I was thinking, oh, Drive is a good one. And I was like, no, I shouldn't. I've already mentioned Drive, so done and done. But
Terminator 2 though.
Terminator 2.
That's a new one.
Didn't we review Terminator?
No, we have not.
I thought we did.
We should.
Maybe we did.
No, we have not reviewed Terminator 2. Look. There's no way. No,
so
there's no way.
But you didn't look up any movies with you. You just thought of one. Or you tried to think of one.
I tried to think. I did. Well, I did think of one
successfully.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is like you didn't like look up on the internet car chase
car chase scenes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
like you try to come up with it organically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so it was funny. It was just like after like my boneheaded supervisor said, "Oh yeah, I can't believe Rocky. I can't believe Terminator won the Academy Award."
We reviewed it in November 16th of 2022.
We reviewed Terminator 2.
Yes, it was episode. I don't have an episode number on it. Judgment Day.
Oh my god, that's crazy! Wow.
The gang tests out their 5 million SPF sunblock this week as they review the greatest sequel of all time, James Cameron's T2 Judgment Day.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Anything else?
No. Yeah. So Out of Time, starring Denzel Washington on Tubi. Check that out. And then Terminator 2 on Amazon Prime.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Joseph, what do you got?
Okay, I got a few. I did not watch anything specifically with the intention of car chases.
Yeah. Okay.
Built into it.
It's not a requirement.
You didn't watch spaghetti fucking westerns, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
And it's not
yes, I did.
And it's not a requirement.
Yeah, it's not a requirement.
It's called extra credit, my friend.
Yeah.
Well,
You watched one extra one.
And now he's indignant.
How dare you?
The gall slamming Jay's Wood's tabletop.
Jay's Wood.
Jay's Wood.
The beautiful tabletop made by Jay's Wood.
Yeah.
I'll go in order of bad to great.
Okay.
Starting with the bad is the Doom movie.
Oh,
wait, the one with the Rock?
Man, that's bad.
The only Doom movie we have, I think, live action anyway, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Carl Urban as the two leads.
Carl Urban is in it?
Yeah.
Yes, and Carl Urban is carrying this movie.
I have no idea.
And what's the girl from I Care a Lot? What's her name? Not
Dwayne Johnson, Carl Urban, Rosamund Pike.
That's it, Rosamund Pike.
And maybe some other faces. Doug Jones is in this.
Oh.
And it's a video game adaptation. It is not good.
What compelled you to watch this movie?
It's a weird one to watch.
Middle of the day, and I was doing something else, and I just wanted something on.
Got it. Low effort movie, one of those.
Came out in 2005. I saw this movie in theaters.
You did?
Really?
Yeah, with my dad.
Nice.
Doom was pivotal for me as a child.
The game?
The game, yeah.
Yeah,
Doom
same.
64 and the Doom PC game.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to do a little like
POV.
yeah, game like this is a game, remember?
Yeah.
And the POV
FPV
sequence after he takes like the super juice to make him super strong or whatever. And it's kind of like a basic like alien, I guess, monster movie where aliens have taken over a
station
or a mutation has taken over. It's like an alien mutation, I guess, taking over a station on Mars. And they're sent in to go deal with it and retrieve any survivors. And then The Rock turns evil at some point and becomes a villain. And Carl Urban is our protagonist.
He turns into like a Scorpion King or something, right? The Rock.
That's the Mummy Returns.
He doesn't fully mutate. He kind of just turns into like a mutated humanoid. But
I'm joking.
It's no, that's not. It's not great. It's not very good. You gave it 3.5 stars. Pete,
I must have been stoned off my ass.
Let's see what, and you wrote a review.
What did I say?
For this era of movies, this is great fun. The 5 minutes of POV action while Carl Urban kicks demon ass is hard to beat in that era.
For that era, it qualified beginning and end.
Chad Wilfong give you a like.
Hey, there you go, Chad. I probably was stoned.
Mitch also gave it the same rating.
Jesus Christ.
Jack gave it 2 stars. And those are the only ones I would.
What'd you give it?
I gave it 1.5 stars. Yeah, because it's not great. But that's
my memory of it is much worse than 3.5.
Yeah, and that doesn't even say where it's streaming, so it's not good. So I'm not even gonna tell you.
Fuck you if you want to watch this.
Fuck you.
The next movie, I think it was on Prime. The next movie I watched, streaming on Tubi and Pluto, and also on Prime, I believe. It says Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone,
VHS classic,
and Robert Loggia is it stars Sylvester Stallone as a truck driver. Who's also like a semi-professional arm wrestler.
Yeah.
And there's like an arm wrestling like tournament championship amongst
like a league
other truck drivers.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
And then in the story, that's sort of like the subplot of the movie, or the B plot. The A plot is like he has a son who he abandoned him and his mom years before, and the son grew up in like a military academy.
Yeah.
A military school.
Yeah, Robert Loggia's like his grandpa.
And the mom at this point in the story when the movie starts is, I think, dying of like cancer or something. And so I think she writes to Sylvester Stallone's character, and he comes and picks him up from military academy, and he's like, I don't know, 11 years old.
Hey, I'm your old man. You want to go on a road trip or something?
And the grandfather is like, I don't know if he's a part of the academy, but he's like,
I think he's had something to do with it.
yeah, he's
maybe he used to go there. He's like the board member or some shit.
He's more well off, and he does not approve of Sylvester Stallone because one, he's a truck driver, and he's abandoned his kid.
Truck driver, you know.
And so the movie is them trying to reconcile for most of it, and then
The little kid's a shithead too.
yeah, he
He's
is
an annoying little fuck.
Yeah, it's a silly movie, and it certainly is over the top.
You know shit's going down when that hat turns backwards.
Well, what compelled you to watch this movie? This seems like really out of the blue.
The premise, and I've heard of it before, and I was curious about it.
All right.
Yeah, it's an 80s campy movie with kind of a ridiculous premise, but it was entertaining. It was entertaining.
Fun.
I gave it 3 stars the when I watched it.
Yeah, I'm like 2.5 on it, just a little bit less. My next streaming pick, streaming on Prime as well, a movie I never heard of until the day that I watched it. We were at a friend's house, and we were watching the trailer for Weapons.
Okay.
Zach Cregger's movie.
Yeah.
And my friend, who is he's not like an avid movie watcher, especially when he was younger.
Okay.
To give you some context, when he came to America, he thought that the movie Scary Movie was actually going to be a horror movie.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And so this when he first watched this movie, this was around that same time.
Okay.
In 2004. This movie came out in 2004, and it's called A Day Without a Mexican.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's a mockumentary directed by Sergio Arau, and it is like not very well made at all, but it is very, very relevant to today because essentially there's like this mysterious fog that appears in like Southern California, where I think most of this takes place, and all of the Mexicans start slowly disappearing, and so society starts to collapse.
American society.
Yeah, and it's a pro-immigration movie to show how much we rely on immigrants in this country. And throughout the movie, they're showing statistics like 60% of construction workers are Hispanic, and it's not necessarily a good movie, but it was
prescient.
It was good and bad at the same time.
Poorly made, but poignant.
Yeah, and also just like kind of really corny.
Okay.
It was a interesting dichotomy, a duality of
you said dyke
of messages.
Yeah.
But the way it was presented was just like poorly, I guess. But it was pretty funny at parts. It was pretty funny. And this is streaming on Prime, and it's only an hour and a half, and I would recommend this.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it, I never heard of it.
All right.
And have you seen it?
No, I know about it though.
Oh, okay.
It was that I was a
heard
senior
of
in high school when it came out, and I was like, I'm not watching that.
Yeah. It's
It didn't seem like interesting to me.
somewhat poignant.
I thought it was going to be more preachy movie than anything, but it's like it sounds like it was more of a goofy sort of thing.
Yeah, it's more goofy with a sense of realism.
Got it. Okay, gotcha.
We're back. Cool. Okay, we're back. Okay. According to Letterboxd, Everything Everywhere All at Once is streaming on Tubi. I haven't watched this since it was in theaters. Still really fucking good. Still really, really like compelling and emotional. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've talked about it when it came out.
Yeah.
Just it's definitely like sillier than I remember. And looking back, I'm like, damn, this took the Oscars. That's
I know.
That's crazy.
It really isn't bizarre that it won everything.
But it's really, really good. And the emotional scenes still hit pretty hard. High recommend for that one. And then for my last one, not streaming currently, I went and saw Sinners, Ryan Coogler's Sinners.
Right.
And I'm not going to talk about the plot at all. But it is really fucking good.
Nice.
It is really, really good. And you wouldn't like it because there's black people in it anyway.
Oh, there.
Just
Hold
kidding.
your horses.
The pre-show is leaking into the real show.
To be honest, though, I did expect you to have that reaction when I said musical.
Yeah,
but like it's
if it's not Miley Cyrus, I don't want to hear it.
There's a sequence.
I do like Miley Cyrus.
There's a sequence in that movie, though. I mean, there's several great sequences in that movie from beginning to end, but
that's Michael B. Jordan who's starring that movie,
yeah,
right?
Two times.
And Delroy Lindo.
Delroy Lindo.
But there's one specific sequence, and you'll know it when you see it. That is just so incredibly well done.
I've heard so many good things about the score, the soundtrack,
the score, yes, and then the fact that part of it feels like a musical. It's like 1/3 a musical.
Really,
is fantastic. Like when those sequences come up, it's just so captivating. And the vampire aspect design of them, that's very subtle in their design, but it's really, really well done, and it just looks and sounds just phenomenal. And
cool. I can't wait,
because you can watch it as just like the vampire movie, but there's so much to unpack in the story, and it's just really, really well done. And I went and joined you and pre-ordering that 4K.
Oh, cool.
Oh wow.
Because it's
Groove.com has a pre-order right now on a 4K Steelbook and 4K non-Steelbook and Blu-ray and all that stuff too. Wow. But it's like I've everybody I know on Letterboxd is like 4 to 5 stars, mostly 4.5 or 5.
Yeah, and
so I'm like, I got it. And it's a vampire movie. I gotta get a vampire movie.
I didn't know it was a vampire movie.
Yes, you did. We talked about it.
We did?
Yes.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I wish I could talk about it more, but there was so much stuff that surprised me about it that I don't want to.
I've been really trying to avoid anything. All I know is Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld,
Delroy Lindo.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Where's my?
Wait, you said you pre-ordered the Steelbook.
Delroy Lindo.
Wait, Pete, you said you pre-ordered the Steelbook though. You haven't seen the movie yet?
No, it's called A Blind Buy.
Fair enough.
That's why I said that.
Yeah, but you go into movies expecting to like some of them. You go like, I'm gonna like it. Like like the Batman 2, which we have no idea.
Or the Ryan Gosling fucking Star Wars movie. You can't wait. You've been edging yourself about the entire time.
Yes, I can't wait. Yeah.
But,
See, that's the thing with me is like it was like when I went to see The Lighthouse at the Tower Theater for the first time. I already knew I was gonna like it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna like this movie. Like there was no apprehension.
Okay,
it's a dangerous game because you set yourself up for failure.
Yeah,
I like doing that.
It certainly tracks.
Anything else?
I mean, I could go on and on, but it's
I'm sure you could.
Maybe I'll go see it tomorrow morning. We'll see.
Yeah, the further I've been removed from it, I saw it on Thursday. It's just like the more and more I want to revisit it, and the more I like appreciated the music and everything, like the certain sequences.
Cool.
That
Nice.
Just rattling around in my brain. But
Sweet.
That's it.
All right, cool. So my streaming picks, I'll make it fast because I had a lot of bad ones. A lot of bad movies this week.
That's not good.
Yeah, I know it's not good. I've caught up though on a good one that Joseph recommended, The Order, streaming on Hulu.
Nice.
Yeah, starring what is his name? Jude Law, Nicholas Hoult, Ty Sheridan.
Oh yeah,
Journey
the Jude Law movie. One,
yeah. And great. I thought it was wonderful. A lot of fun. I was expecting a little bit more, and I don't know why, just because I think everyone was gushing over it. But I think this is more like a hidden gem than it is a fantastic movie, because it's just shot well. It looks good. The acting is on point. Nicholas Hoult as a villain, a white supremacist, is really good. He tends to play these very likable characters, short of the war boy in Fury Road. And even that, you kind of like him at the end. He kind of has a turn. But in this one, he plays an absolute, like fanatic Aryan Brotherhood, white power piece of shit. And, but you almost like, I'm not saying you should respect him because of the white power thing, but he's so dedicated to his like cause that like the third act, I was kind of shocked with the way it went and the way he the decisions he made in the third act. And I'm like, damn, this guy's really is bought into this shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's even scarier when you think of it like that, because these people are like, I mean, they're literally willing to die just because they don't like black people. It's like, that's how much hate must you have in your heart to like be willing to give your own life because another person exists?
What?
It's right. Thank you, Lil Jon.
Yeah.
So this is just directed by Justin Kurzel, who directed the Michael Fassbender Macbeth. He also directed Assassin's Creed in 2016. Also was Fassbender. Yeah. Nitram from 2021, which was a kind of a runaway hit in I think it was set in Nitram. I don't know. I don't know how it's pronounced, but Nitram. It's Martin spelled backwards.
Mm-hmm. Whoa.
And it's and it's set in Australia. It's like a school shooter in Australia or something like that. I think something. Nice. I can't remember. But Jack seemed to love it. I think everybody I know who watched it loved it. So this guy, Justin Kurzel, up and comer.
Yeah.
We'll see what he does next. But the order was really good.
Yeah. Kind of feels like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Didn't get a whole lot of fanfare. Didn't get a whole lot of advertising. But I like that a lot. I rewatched Signs. I rewatched The Village. We had a little Shyamalan mini-thon. Mm-hmm. Both very good. Still really like them. Yeah. I am a Village apologist. Love The Village.
Yeah, I don't get the hate for The Village. It's fine.
If you take it from a cultural standpoint in the moment, I think people were tired of the quote unquote twist. They're like, oh, how convenient. Yeah. But of all the twists,
Village before or after Signs?
Well, let's see right now. It was Signs was 02, Village was 04.
Yeah.
So I think
there's just a little bit of fatigue.
Maybe some Shyamalan fatigue, but of all the twists that happen in his movies, or all the reveals, or whatever you want to call them, I feel like that's probably the one that could actually happen the most. I could see a rogue billionaire setting up a nature reserve, and like making it so you like protected airspace so planes can't fly over and see that there's a village there, and that there's an isolated group of people that are removing themselves from society. Like, I could see all of that happening. It doesn't seem that far-fetched.
No, I mean, it's out of everything that he's done, like that one is like, one, the most plausible. Two, I mean, I'd put it, Jesus Christ, like next to The Sixth Sense.
The what?
The Sixth Sense. He's talking about in his rankings. So anyways, not going to talk about those anymore. Loved them both. I watched a movie that was recommended to me by previously mentioned on the show, friend of the show, Bruce Perky, and a couple of cinematics guys, Dead Male, streaming on Shudder. And this is a new release, relatively new release, 2024. I think some people are really going to love this, but I was completely missed me. Almost completely. Yeah, I really had a hard time enjoying this, but I liked the stuff that they were going for. Basically, it's a story about a mail sorter. It's that they're basically their idea. The phrase "dead mail" means it's like a piece of letter or a piece of mail that goes to the post office that has an obscured address.
Yep.
And they can't determine where it is. Do you deal with this, Tyler?
Oh yeah.
So what's your company's do you have a whole department for dead mail?
Return to sender.
That's it?
Yep.
You don't even try?
Nope.
You don't even try to read it?
In this one, they show this whole process where they will try to like backwards engineer where this is supposed to go based off of context clues.
Too much effort, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. Low effort, Tyler.
I'm not the one dealing with it.
You're happily agreeing to it.
Of course I am.
So anyways, and that part I thought was really interesting. And it's like a hyper realized version of that, of like a real life thing. And I think it's actually based off of a true story too. But this is way, I mean, this is
a horror movie?
Yeah, it's a horror movie. Kind of a horror suspense movie.
It was Anthrax.
Oh, looks like
got some sound issues.
Sound issues.
Sound issues.
Is it still going in and out?
Yeah, can you guys hear us now? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear this?
What?
No.
Well, fine then.
Maybe we'll have to.
Oh,
we're fine now. Okay.
What did you do that?
Thanks, Trip. Scare me, Trip. All right. So, anyways, Dead Male. So there's no supernatural stuff. It's not like that. It's like a real life horror sort of thing. And the guy at the beginning, who's the guy that finds the recipients of the dead male, he says he gets a letter that has what looks like maybe blood, but it actually ends up being like dried epoxy that's red all over it, and it says, "I've been kidnapped. I'm being held hostage. The person who kidnapped me is blank." So they're trying to resolve this thing, and they don't know if it's a joke or whatever.
Oh.
And
if I saw that on my package, I'd just be like,
exactly. I'm sure you would. No regard for human life whatsoever.
Nope.
I wish I could say I was surprised.
And what you get is this hostage situation where this guy's kidnapped and he's being held in this guy's like basement or garage or something like that. And it's all hovering around synthesizers. This is set in the 1980s. So it's a guy that makes the synthesizer keyboards, and he's trying to basically patent his synthesizer chips or whatever to Korg or Yamaha or something like that. And he gets in business bed with this guy who wants to like get in on it, and he says, "I think you got something special." But then when he tries to leave and go elsewhere, he's like, "You're not leaving." And he chains him to the freaking bathroom toilet or whatever because of the synthesizer. So it's kind of funky, and it's a shot in an interesting way. But I just
didn't do it for you.
It didn't do it for me. So if that sounds interesting to you, and it's definitely indie, low budget horror, so support that. Next one up, Cast a Deadly Spell, 1991. This is a recommended from Joe Bridges. It's a fantasy noir set in like the 1940s, 1950s, something like that. Yeah, 1940s, Los Angeles, where everyone uses magic. And it's a hard-boiled...
Just to give you context.
Yeah, it's a hard-boiled detective story with Fred Ward as the lead, who is Kevin Bacon's business partner in Tremors.
Oh, yeah.
Like square-jawed, flat-top having, drill sergeant-looking dude.
Yeah.
Julianne Moore is also in this. Clancy Brown is in this.
Oh, wow.
Clancy Brown plays a real shithead, sort of a mob boss, whatever. So anyways, Cast a Deadly Spell, Fred Ward, he's a detective. He's trying to solve a mystery in L.A. There's gargoyles come to life. There's goblins. There's gremlins. There's a nightclub that's like the TARDIS, where it's just the door and you walk in and there's a huge inside, but it's just a door on the outside. So it's like, I don't know. The tone is super weird about this, and I wanted to like it a lot more than I did, but I just didn't love it. But there are some really good practical effects and some interesting stuff here. So it's not completely devoid of value, and it's trying something. So I like that. I liked Bright a lot more. Bright was like Training Day with orcs. That was really cool. I like that one. But it's okay. It's okay.
Cast a Deadly Spell. Oh yeah, because the magic world.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And let me see where this is streaming here. I want to say it's Tubi. No, it's on Max. That's an HBO Max. So that's Cast a Deadly Spell, 1991. I watched Wicked finally. Did not like.
Yeah. What about it that you didn't like? Was it the music?
I didn't like the characters. I thought they were draining. I thought everything seemed seemingly pretentious. It felt like I didn't
pretentious. Interesting.
Yeah, I felt like everything was so precious, and Ariana Grande's character is supposed to be the good witch, and she's a royal bitch.
Yes.
And I like that subversion, but I didn't like her at all. Like, I didn't even like her portrayal.
Her sister was a witch.
There we go. Thank you. Good job. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a poorly made movie, and I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
So it's almost impossible to argue against the set design and the costume design. And Defying Gravity was very good. Everybody says, "Oh, that song is great," and it was very good. And I enjoyed some of the allegory of racism and animals can't teach and blah 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 blah.
What?
Yeah, there's like talking animals like Narnia there. And at one point, they like tell them this proclamation that the animals are no longer able to teach. So like the goat teacher that teaches one of their classes can't teach anymore. And they're like, oh yeah, it's this person, this politician made this proclamation and blah, 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 blah. But like
that goats can't teach children
animals at all. And it's like, but they were already integrated into society. So there's some good stuff to mine in there. But it's wrapped up in a package that just drained me so bad. It was drained.
Well, it takes, 2.5 hours to get to Defying Gravity?
That's how movie's long.
And it's only...
it's part one.
Part one.
It's part one.
Oh,
it's part one of the movie.
It's only...
I think it's about as long as, like, the whole play.
Yeah, I think it's longer than the whole play.
Yeah.
And there's a part one. So anyways, props to the casting department for casting Ariana Grande as a villain, because I don't like her. So she was appropriately cast, I think.
Yeah.
And
I didn't like it much either. The music.
Wait, you saw it too?
Yeah, I've talked about it. However long ago?
Yeah. The music was, I don't know, it was fine.
People like the music, and Defying Gravity's it's okay song, but
yeah, I thought she was like Ariva, whatever her name is,
Cynthia Erivo.
Cynthia Erivo. She's got a great voice.
Yeah.
I think that some of the stuff they tried too hard in the singing aspect of it. It's like a lot of too many runs, you know. So I don't know.
A minimal qualifier for me anyway, when it comes to musicals, because I like musicals, is that I have to like the music.
Sure, yeah, there you go. It helps. It certainly helps.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, once Jeff Goldblum's introduced, I'm like, didn't like him. I didn't like. I didn't like. Margaret Yo, or what's her name?
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh, yeah. Michelle Yeoh, didn't like her in it.
She's the one who's doing the whole... Isn't she the one who's...
She's the bad teacher.
Yeah.
Spoilers! So anyways, Wicked, pass.
All right.
And then lastly, I watched Michael Angarano's directorial feat starring our hometown, Sacramento, called Sacramento.
Oh, you watched it?
I watched it.
Is this streaming now?
I had to rent it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to rent it.
It's like a $10 rental. Regret.
Yeah, a regret.
I would wait for streaming.
I've heard mixed things.
It's not terrible, but the two leads in it is Michael Angarano and Michael Cera. I don't understand Michael Cera's character at all. In some scenes, he's supposed to be competent and likable. In some scenes, he's completely incompetent and a complete douchebag asshole. Some scenes he feels he's having like a mental breakdown, so you have sympathy for him throughout a lot of it. And other times he's just being a dick for the sake of being a dick. Mm-hmm. Like I don't get his character. You know, there's no through line. So I feel like his character wasn't very well realized. Kristen Stewart was doing a very underrated performance, which I liked. But they could have done so much more with her. Like she could have been a sounding board or a springboard for Michael Cera's character, because they're about to have a baby together.
Yeah.
She's pregnant through majority of the movie.
She looks like a fox in that movie.
Yes, I know you said that last week. You had to air your pregnancy fetish on this show, and then, but the
am I wrong?
The other female lead in it is basically
another female.
Yeah, another one.
Oh wow,
there's two in there.
Oh, it was it's the Asian girl. Who the fuck is her name? I can't remember her name, but I know who you're talking about.
Give me a moment, I will tell you. Let's see here.
Wait, who was the other lead?
Michael Angarano.
Yeah, I looked at him in the movie poster. He I thought he looked like me a little bit.
I can see it.
Like I was like looking at him, I was like,
Michael,
is that me?
Maya Erskine.
Is that me? Was I in the movie?
Maya Erskine or Erskine is the other female lead, and she's married to Michael Angarano in real life.
Oh, okay.
So I was kind of expecting them to use that in some capacity because they have a relationship as well. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the most oddest meet cutes I've ever seen in a movie. Mm-hmm. But she was good. I really liked her a lot, and she was the opposite Donald Glover in the Mr. and Mrs. Smith series.
Oh, okay.
Also, she voices the main character in Blue Eye Samurai.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah, which I really loved. So,
fun.
Yeah, Sacramento is, especially if you're from here, there's a number of scenes too where you're like, they're right across the street from Gunther's. One of the characters works at Gunther's, and they're across the street from Gunther's having a conversation, and then one of them like takes off down the block, and he's like, "Hey, wait up!" And then you cut to them, and they're in the middle of a fucking field somewhere, and you're like, "There's no fields near there." And there's also like 4 separate scenes where they're driving across the yellow bridge over by the Pyramid Building.
The Tower Bridge.
Yeah, the Tower Bridge. And it's like, oh, we're in Sacramento. And they're driving across the Tower Bridge. And like, are they going to Midtown? Where are they going?
Are they going to downtown or are they going to West Sac?
West Sac. One or the other. And then
that's not even how you would get to Sacramento.
I know. And then the next scene, they're like, okay, let's head to breakfast. And they're going over the bridge again. And you're like, are you going to the bank?
I don't know. The money building?
Yeah, what the fuck? The financial building over there?
Yeah.
And it's
no, they're going to Capitol Garage.
So there's nothing terrible about it. Like none of it's really bad, but it didn't land for me at all.
Yeah.
So the portrayal of the city of Sacramento.
It was fine.
Okay.
I didn't mind that part of it.
Are they basing it on Sacramento for the sake of making fun of it because it's Sacramento?
No,
Do you think
it's
it's not disparaging?
No, there's none of that. It's just part of the setting.
It's based on something that Michael Angarano did.
Yeah,
like years ago with somebody.
The plot is they're estranged friends, and Michael Cera. Are we still rolling on Audacity? I don't think so.
Oh my god!
Come on.
At this point,
it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So Michael Angarano and Michael Cera are estranged friends, is what it is. Mm-hmm. And Angarano comes back into his life, and his dad had just died. So that's basically it. And they're trying to reconnect, and he goes, "Why don't we just take a road trip to Sacramento?" And that's it. That's the end of it.
This just feels like a knockoff Real Pain.
A number of times I felt that.
Yeah.
It was a way worse version of a Real Pain.
I had the same idea that we should go to the Grand Canyon.
That's nothing like this. So anyways, that's a rental. You could skip it. Wait for streaming.
Okay.
And that's everything.
All right.
Okay.
You guys got anything else?
No.
You look like you want to say something?
You want to say something? What is it?
Nothing, because we have a show. We're on a time crunch.
Well, now I want to know.
All right. Anyways,
come on.
What is it?
Spit it out.
Nothing.
Okay.
Why are you smirking? Why are you smiling?
Because I feel like you're putting me on the spot right now.
Okay. Well, thank you to our cool ass yardities on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, and Chris. Or you can just watch on the YouTube page. That helps too. Until next time. Thank you for joining us as we gab and chatter. We talk to Sebastian from the Spaghetti Western database and give some streaming picks. Follow us next week or later on in the week or later on today if you're on the live stream as we review Ronin from 1998, John Frankenheimer's second to last movie. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class.
And TikTok at Middle Class Film Class, and on Twitter at PodcastMCFC.
All right, we'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later.
See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.